Hello everyone, my name is Xiaodong Yue. I'm a professor at Capital Normal University. Welcome to my course of Skills for Writing and Publishing Academic Papers in English. And today's topic is how to write a good academic paper. First of all, I want to ask you the following questions. Did you ever publish an English academic paper? Did you ever get rejected by an academic journal? Did you know why your paper was rejected? Did you know the explicit reasons for rejection? Did you know the implicit reasons for rejection? With these questions in mind, let's look at today's topic. What are the features of good articles? Before we start our talk, let's see the vocabulary or the words for this talk. I'll do you a favor. Please read after me to familiarize your ear for the terms, for the words, for the vocabulary I'll mention in this talk. Are you ready? Read after me. Publish. Publish. Rejection. Rejection. Academic journals. Academic journals. Argumentative purpose. Argumentative purpose. Research gap identification. Research gap identification. Problematizing approach. Problematizing approach. Rational tone. Rational tone. Relevant content. Relevant content. Reader awareness. Reader awareness. Formulaic writing guidelines. Formulaic writing guidelines. Academic writing voice. Academic writing voice. Grammatical correction. Grammatical correction. Tense consistency. Tense consistency. Sentence position. Sentence position. Spelling error-free ratio. Spelling error-free ratio. Active-passive voice. Active-passive voice. Cohesive style. Cohesive style. Grammatical cohesiveness. Grammatical cohesiveness. Lexical cohesiveness. Lexical cohesiveness. Idiomatic cohesiveness. Idiomatic cohesiveness. Active-passive voice cohesiveness. Active-passive voice cohesiveness. Parallel expressions cohesiveness. Parallel expressions cohesiveness. Semantic expressiveness. Semantic expressiveness. Reader cues and expressions. Reader cues and expressions. Signal words and expressions. Signal words and expressions. Meta-commentary expressions. Meta-commentary expressions. Hatching words and expressions. Hatching words and expressions. Professionals. Professionals. First of all, I have summarized what I call the checkers for good articles. And let's look at them together. By checkers or checking points, I mean the important things that you need to be aware for good writing. First of all, you need to have coherent structure. What does coherent structure mean? It means the logical organization of information that is consistent within itself. And what does it include in coherent structure? Well, it includes argumentative purpose, meaning you're going to posit, you argue a point of view in some new or different ways. The second is problematizing approach. That means create a new rationale for reconsidering the old topic by addressing the problems the present theories or findings have. Third, the rational tone. That means to present carefully explained arguments to persuade the reader. Fourth, the relevant content. That means to present relevant or supporting information needed for your arguments. And the fifth, the research gaps identification. That means to present one's disagreement with others' interpretation of certain research findings or theoretical propositions. Sixth, reader awareness. That means your writing, the description, your paragraph has to keep the audience in mind. They may not understand what you say. You really have to be aware the extent of knowledge they have for the topic you address. Seventh, formulaic writing guidelines. That means specific types of sentences or phrases that are used for your writing. That is discipline-based. Eighth, academic writing voice. That means the unique pattern of choices a writer makes in his writing. So this is what is included in coherent structure. The second is grammatical correction. It means the sentence has to grammatically okay and correct. What does it include? Typically, it includes tense consistency. That means the past, present, future. If you use past tense, you have to keep on using past tense. You cannot jump from past tense to present tense. When you started, Yue said, humor is important. That is wrong, because Yue already said as past tense, you have to say, Yue said humor was important. So we keep the tense consistency. You have the sentence position. That means you have to have the right, appropriate choice of words or phrases for your statements. Third, spelling error-free ratio. Basically, your writing has to be free of stupid mistakes. By stupid mistakes, I mean spelling mistakes. So there has to be, your paper should not have any spelling mistakes when you submit your paper. And the fourth, the passive and active voice. And the fourth, the active and passive voice. I mean, if you use active voice, you better keep on using active voice. You cannot jump one sentence for active voice, next sentence for passive voice, next sentence for active voice, next sentence for passive voice. You'll be incoherent, not cohesive. Of course, there are other aspects of grammatical correction or lexical appropriateness. I'm just giving you an example. You have to keep in this mind. When you do TBE writing, this will not show up. Next is cohesive style. Cohesive style means the article is cohesive within itself. First of all, it has to have the grammatical cohesiveness. That means grammar is consistent with each other, as I said in the last part. Second is the lexical cohesiveness. That means the lexical items should be consistent with each other. And third is idiomatic cohesiveness. That means the idiomatic expressions need to be consistent with one another or each other. Fourth, active-passive voice cohesiveness. That means the active-passive voice needs to be consistent with each other throughout the passage. And the fifth is the parallel expressions cohesiveness. That means similar sentences or phrases or words go together. And they create this parallelism in your writing. And of course, for cohesive style, there could be other indicators or checkers, but I'll just give you an example. Beyond that, there was also the semantic expressiveness. That means, for instance, the reader cues or expressions, the words, particularly if transitional words that are used, the signal words or expressions, that will allow you to follow writer's change of thoughts or flow of thoughts. The meta commentary expressions must direct reader to understand or interrupt argument in a specific way. And hedging words or expressions, the words or expressions are used to show hesitation, uncertainty, or doubt of a particular statement. Now, are you impressed or stressed of what I talk about? Writing a good piece of paper. It's hard, to say the least. This is why when I read TBE papers, I feel annoyed, irritated, because it doesn't follow the inner logic or formulaic expectations of a paper within particular disciplines. Now you need to gradually develop awareness to all these checkers. Then you can write a good paper. When you put all of these checkers together, you'll build up your own academic writing voice. Now, what is academic writing voice? It refers to the unique pattern of choices a writer makes regarding the content, approach, or expressions of the writing. And it functions as the author's writing identity. And it's like a person. The academic voice has unique qualities that creates a distinctive voice for the writer. And it's like a personality. Each of us have our own personality, whether introvert, outward, relaxed, or nervous. You have your own writing style that is so distinctive yourself. Even for academic papers, we need to develop our academic writing voice. So in short, academic writing voice is related to a creative style of expression, including aspects of style, such as how sentences are structured, how word choices made, how grammar choices are made, and even how punctuation is set or used. So we have to keep this in mind. And a writer's style is usually what makes one likes or dislike his or her paper. So one may think of a style as one's personality. The choices the writers make, for instance, how long the sentences are, what transitional words are chosen, what punctuation marks are preferred, such as semicolons or others. And eventually, readers are as much attracted to one's writing style as to his or her personality. And this writing style is the academic voice. Now you may wonder what an academic voice is all about. Well, let's give you an example. For instance, think about Lu Xun. Okay? What about his writing? His writing is sharp. His writing is cynical. His writing is humorous. His writing is understandable. Of his time, now you can still understandable. This is called common language or 白话文. And this is why he impressed so many people for 100 years. Let's quote one of his best quotes. You either erupt in silence or perish in it. In Chinese, 不是在沉默中爆发，就是在沉默中灭亡. Of course, I'll think of another English writer, the academic voice. Now I will recommend Professor Martin Seligman. And if you read his book, for instance, Learned Optimism, you can find the reading, the language, fluent, lively, interesting, and spellbinding. So you love to read his books and you want to read more. And this is his academic voice. And finally, do I have an academic voice? I have. I've written different books. And in these books, I will try to keep the following style. Put them together is my academic voice, which is characterized by using short sentences, using simple words, using few clauses, having high reader awareness, having high structural coherence, and having high lexical cohesiveness. And this is the kind of academic voice or writing style that I want to pursue, I want to establish for myself. Now I want to keep this in mind because writing is serious business. It's not that you translate your Chinese paper into an English paper, you submit. It's not at all that easy.